The masses in Egypt have won the war. Mubarak is gone, one way or another. The question is, who comes after him? Other than the army, that we all know has been the pillar of his strength, where are the power forces within the Egyptian political arena?
The most organized political opposition movement in Egypt is the Muslim Brotherhood. People think that in a free and fair election it would win a majority. I don't think so, but it would certainly be a very powerful force. There are disorganized, what you might call liberal forces. There's the traditional Al-Waft party. There's Ayman Noor, who was put in prison by Hosni Mubarak 5 or 6
who came in second in the last presidential race.
With 8% of the, or something like
Mubarak
that.
But he has an organization.
Mubarak co-opted the opposition, kept them around just enough to be able to sort of make them toothless. So we don't really know who the leaders are going to be.
But let me ask this way. Since we don't know who the precise leader will be, is it likely that a theocratic leader would emerge and that this becomes something akin to what we have in Iran, or is this going to be a more secular government?
Impossible to imagine.
No, well, you search for various historical models, and one that came to mind as I was writing my column the other day is the model of Alexander Kerensky, the provisional leader in Russia after the fall of the Tsar, liberal-minded, progressive, quickly being supplanted by the Bolsheviks. You might have a similar situation with an al-Baradei-type figure who is respectable abroad but doesn't really have a constituency at home, finding himself supplanted by a Muslim Brotherhood that is organized and willful.
But even the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood is not like Ayatollah Khomeini, and I really find there are so many sources of anti-extremism within Egypt that although that's the great bogeyman and the great worry that it would turn radical, I would be quite surprised if at the end of the day you had a radical
look
regime.
at the Iranian Revolution. When the Shah fell, it wasn't just the Ayatollah and the Islamists who were pushing for his departure. It was everyone. It was Marxists, it was liberals, it was socialists, people from every element in society. It was the fact that the Islamists were the most willful, the most capable of deploying violence, which gave them the upper hand. And that's something that we have to be aware of here.
But do you agree with Gideon that the Muslim Brotherhood is not as radical as the Ayatollah Khomeini had been?
The Muslim Brotherhood is, radicalism is always a matter of who you're defining it against. They're not as radical as the Salafists. They're not Al-Qaeda. But the Muslim Brotherhood is a very extreme organization which would transform the nature of Egyptian society.
Would the military in Egypt permit them to gain control?
This is the question. And so one of the things that might happen is the military might allow some reform and help oust Mubarak, but only allow the reform to go a certain degree. That's why the interesting question now isn't so much Mubarak as it is the broader regime.